Sorry for the wait, ladies.
It
How's
came
it
out
all
in the
going?
email, so.
We're glad to see you. Wow. Because I have a big question.
Okay, great. Shoot, yeah.
Okay, the thing is for emotional eating, you have to push the food away, right? But in my case, it's not one food. I open the refrigerator and I can eat anything. So I was thinking maybe I should push the whole refrigerator away.
Yeah, so it doesn't need to be specific food. That's what differentiates the cravings from emotional eating. Cravings is the very specific food. Emotional eating is any food. So you do it in the moment. You go back, if you feel like you need to eat emotionally and you can do that in the moment, go ahead and do that. But what we usually do for if you can't do it in the moment, you just go back to the previous time that you ate emotionally. You envision the food that you were going to eat and you push that away.
For instance, I go into the kitchen and I want to eat something, but I don't know what. So what should I push away?
Anything. Yeah. So it could just be plain old rice, can be like anything. You can even just feel into the trigger of what it feels like to eat and imagine that someone says to you, you can't eat now. So the reason that we push the food away is to trigger you even more. Okay, so pushing it away makes the trigger go up and you're able to follow that feeling. So it's that specific feeling in that time that you're going to follow back.
So it's the feeling of what is happening to me right now.
Yes,
right there.
In the moment when you want to eat emotionally, yes.
But if it doesn't come anything, I don't know. I have this problem.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing that one. That's one of the tapping circles. That's going to be July 9th at 1 p.m.
Okay.
That's with 1 p.m. Eastern. That's with Coach Team. Yeah. So it's also just a practice. So you want to just be able to trust your subconscious. Sometimes it's like a flash of a number that comes across your mind, or you might see yourself at a certain, you're like, oh, I'm in a school uniform. I'm around about 7 or whatever it is. Just trust. Yeah, but it'll get easier. It will. Yeah. But come to that tapping circle. So this one's a different one, but that's a great question, Anna. That's usually what I start the correct ones with. So yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Wonderful. Okay, so Glenys.
Hi everyone. Sorry, I'm in the UK and it's 1:20 in the morning. So I'm in my PJs and I'm very, very tired. That's why I'm not on video. I actually came because I'd gone to bed and then I realized, oh no, the time difference. So I got out of bed, but I'm actually here because about an hour ago, about 2 hours ago, I just felt this overwhelming need to eat. I had my last meal I would say about 8 o'clock after I did some studying. And I was really, really, really full, like physically full. I was satiated, I was satisfied. And then I suddenly got agitated a few hours ago simply because I just could not get out of my head that I wanted to eat. So I didn't tap. It's something I've been avoiding, which is my point. I've been really struggling, and I know Brittany said this is going to be part of the initiation, is that you'll avoid or you'll rebel against it. And some people have kindly answered tonight also in the chat that, to expect that, and that I'm not on the only one. But I was just wondering, are there any tips either from you or anybody else here tonight just to kind of share what their very, very beginning experiences were and how they kind of, sort of stopped avoiding, stopped running away, and how they began to really hone into the tapping and get into their own routines? Because emotionally, I feel like I really, really want to stop this habit of eating. Particularly in the last couple of months, I put on quite a bit of weight. but somehow it's like I'm literally avoiding going into the think and think, and I'm just avoiding it all. So any supportive help would be so much appreciated this evening.
So Glenys, this course is designed to trigger you. It's designed to change you. And for that change to happen, you need to look at what's going on. So usually, our brains and our bodies, they don't want to change. So our subconscious will come up with all of these excuses and all these reasons why you shouldn't be tapping. So because the tapping work actually helps to change you. So if you can't do the tapping work, the stuff like the ball of light or the push the food away, the techniques in the moment, once you're eating emotionally or you're craving something, just go do it after. Okay, so maybe you're really energized in the morning, and that's when you get the work done. But then we also, so that's one tip. We also have a self-sabotage tapping circle just specific for that. Okay, so the self-sabotage will come up and you'll meet that resistance. So the resistance is normal, it's very common, but just that's why we usually start the calls with wins, because we always want to focus on the things that we're not doing right. That's just like also another habit. So if you can focus on the things that you are doing. So if you can just do some of those neuro reprogramming, tapping things, it's like, okay, great, I did that. And that's why great Brooke in that there. So it's great to get buddies also, so that helps you with staying accountable. And there's lots of buddy groups that you can go to. Continue coming to these calls. Also, if you have a coach, make your appointments with your coach. All of that stuff really helps.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I've been feeling really disillusioned, and naturally I've gone into the negative and beating myself up and going, look, I've bought this and I've got all of these tools, and once again I'm sabotaging. So I've gone into that mode of typical me. So yeah, this has been really helpful. Thank you.
Typical you, the previous version of you. You're stepping into new things here. So it's in order to get what you've never got before, you need to do what you've never done before. So be open to the possibility that the new you just does it. And she might not do it perfectly, but she goes ahead and does it anyway.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah, you're welcome. Iman, last one, and then we'll get into the tapping.
All right. Thank you so much for having me and answering my question. Okay. So my main thing that I'd like to say is I feel some overwhelm, I think, when I'm helping my inner child, or even the process of trying to inhabit her body and see everything literally. I feel like there was one time where I feel like I saw, maybe more than once, but at least once, where I feel like I saw something that was authentic to her experience, because I wasn't expecting it at all. But the rest of the time, feel a little numb around that whole process, and like I don't know whether or not to trust. Like I just feel like I'm projecting all this stuff that I think happened to try to make up a story, to try to force myself to heal. But I'm having a lot of trouble trusting the process and trusting that it's truly giving me relief and being effective each time I do it, because sometimes I'm a little dissociated.
Yeah, and sometimes the dissociation, that can be another form of resistance. So the more that you do the work, that like the better that you get at like paying attention to it, and the more, like you're saying, that you felt a bit numb. So that's exactly what the tapping will help with. So just stick with it, and it does get easier. And sometimes it is hard. Like, so it's normal and common to think, okay, is that the real age? Am I just making this up? But like, how do we know the difference between I'm making it up to it's my subconscious? So just go with it. And even if you just go in, you're like, I'm not even sure what she's feeling, she's a bit numb, So in that moment, you could just say, okay, well, how can I support this young one? Okay, you're stepping into the body of her, the younger version of you, and then just tapping through the points, breathing, and saying to yourself, it is safe for me to feel. It's okay for me to feel in this moment. And you're giving her that time. And then you could step out of her body, and then you're there, the adult. And so the more that she's trusting you to be there, and the more that you're like hanging out with her, that develops more of the trust, you know, and then you start to feel more as you work through the program, and then you won't feel that numbing.
Okay, thank you. May I possibly ask one more question?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So basically, sometimes I think that even if I have an inkling of the correct feeling, or the correct story, when I'm forcing myself to see her at that age, I don't usually question the age too much, but when I'm forcing myself to see her, I always envision her, or I tend to envision her in the same environment. So I feel like that tells me that I'm not going to the right, like I'm not seeing her in like in the real situation, in real time, because I'm just seeing her in the same place over and over.
Like you're going back to the same age?
No, well, when I try to envision her, I just envision her in the same part of the house a
Uh,
lot. There have been small variations on that, but usually it's the same house in the same part of the house.
yeah, and that's okay. Yeah. And you don't need to know, like when you see her, you don't need to know all of like the little details of her face. Sometimes you can say, okay, that's like, you know, I see like her, I kind of remember a photo of me, and I'm like, okay, that's it, because I can't remember, I can't see like into her face, but it's like, okay, I'm just like envisioning that, you know, that being, that's me. Okay, so just trust, like again, just trust the process. And the more that you do it, so a lot of times we can think ourselves out of like, is this really working? Is it not? But the main thing, if you're able to step into the body of that younger one and help her feel, then it's working. Like the more feeling into it.
Yeah.
You come to the one. Are you available on Wednesday to come to the one with teen?
Uh,
One,
yeah. Well, I have one scheduled for Wednesday. The call
great,
for Wednesday. Yeah.
great, yeah, wonderful. That's gonna the one with teen is gonna help a lot.
Okay. All right. I appreciate the support with that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, great. Sorry that I'm late, everyone. Let's get started with the tapping for cravings. So my name is Kim, if we haven't met before. Does everyone have, no, you don't need to actually have your food in the, thank you, in front of you. You can just imagine it, okay? The technique works really well. Sometimes people get into a little bit of a funk because they might have gone out and bought all their craving food, ready to do the technique, and then eaten it before they even start this. Okay, so I want you just to choose one food, and instead of like choosing like a food group, I always crave sweets, or I always crave something salty and crunchy. Just choose one of the food, and keep a list, okay? If you have like maybe 50, 100 food items, and just start chipping away at them, okay? So this, sometimes doing this work is like a game of whack-a-mole, and you're like, okay, we'll collapse the craving for peanut butter, and then up pops ice cream or something like that. So we're just going to start by working on one food today. So the first thing we're going to do with that food is just rate our desire for it, 0 to 10. If it's anything like below, like maybe a 5, I want you to imagine that you're smelling it, or if you have the food in front of you, actually smell it, maybe even take a little nibble. So you might want to increase the craving a bit. So once you've got your desire for it, 0 to 10, the next thing we're going to do is imagine, or you're actually just going to think about what this reminds you of. Okay, so this might be a special food that you shared with a parent or a sibling. It might be something from your adult life. It might be like something that you shared with a past partner or your current partner when things were like, usually we crave the food about from times when things were like stress-free, you know, or times when things were kind of quite exciting. Hey, I went out for ice cream with my mum as a treat when I finished, you know, each term at school or something like that. And so now, like, you know, we're an adult, sometimes life can be a little bit bland or monotonous. So we're like, oh, well, I'm craving that excitement. So that's what we're actually craving in the moment. So just go with the feeling. It might be excitement, joy, treat, reward, connection. If it's something that you shared with somebody or a bunch of people, that's usually the connection, and love is a very common one that we crave. And the next one, I want you to choose a person to share these feelings with. So we're not so much sharing the food with them, we're sharing the feelings. Okay, so the feelings, we say the feelings are stuck in the food. So we're going to take those feelings out, and that's why we put them into the ball of light and pass them back and forth. If you had this food by yourself, you can also just choose anybody from your current, like, it doesn't have to necessarily be the person that you shared this food with. It could be somebody from your current life. It can also be a pet. Okay, so we've got those three things. We've got the we've rated your desire for it, the feelings. It can be like a few feelings, if you like, emotions, and then the person. Okay. So everybody take a deep, slow breath here. I want you to imagine, that's a great idea, Brooke, to do this with your younger self. Yeah, it's a great idea. So you can imagine that you've got the food in front of you, and all those feelings and the emotions that you just described, they're inside the food in front of you. You're going to take both hands, physically scoop up those feelings and place them into the center of your chest. Take a deep, slow breath. Place them into the center of your chest. And as you're doing that, feel those good feelings. So feeling that treat or whatever it was for you, that connection, that love, excitement, joy. Maybe it was just a feeling of calm. Once you have all those feelings into the center of your chest and you're feeling them, go ahead and start tapping through the points. Another big breath. So you're feeling those feelings, tapping through the points. And now I want you to imagine that you are tasting the food. Feel the texture of the food in your mouth. If it's warm or cool, just feel that also. And now I want you to imagine that those feelings that you place into the center of your chest, they form a big, beautiful, iridescent white light in your heart. And you're going to go ahead and pass that ball of light from your heart to your person's heart. And they light up and they're really excited and grateful that you've chosen them to share this with today. Continue tasting the food, smelling the food in. And now you're going to go ahead and receive that ball of light with all those good feelings from that person's heart back into yours, and get another wave of those good feelings, whatever it was for you. Good. Continue tasting the food, smelling the food. And now in your own time, go ahead and pass that ball of light from your heart to your other person's heart, and back and forth. All the while feeling those feelings, tasting the food. A few more times. And lastly, just imagine that you can keep some of that ball of light with those good feelings in your heart. Whoever that was that you shared this with, they can keep some in their heart. And go over and give them a hug, kiss on the cheek if that feels good to you. And if there's anything that you would like to say to them, go ahead and do that now. Take a deep breath and slowly come back. Good job. Great. And now you're going to go ahead and re-rate your desire for the food. So again, 0 is that you don't really want it all, and 10 the most ever. And if someone wants to put into the chat what theirs was and what theirs is now. Good. And if you're tasting the food, I want you just to taste it like 9 to a 2, Julie, amazing. I want you to taste it like chew it slowly and really feel really taste what it taste what I feel. I can't speak now. You know what I mean? So really tasting the food. Okay. So you're almost like you're some food connoisseur. Like, oh, it's got this undertones of chocolate or whatever, all right? So just imagine that you're even explaining it to someone. So a lot of times when we eat the craving food, we might just we're going fast, not really stopping to really taste the food. And when you're doing this technique, sometimes that taste really changes. You're like, wow, it's quite actually overpowering. 6 to a 0, Rhonda, amazing. Great work, everyone. The next part of this is the aspects, okay? So this is a tapping script that we use. The aspects is what you like about the food that isn't the emotions. So is it like the texture of the food that you like, the creaminess, the crunchy, sweet? So just come up with maybe 2 of those things. 2 of your top things. Does anyone want to put into the chat what theirs is? Creamy, cheesy, creamy. Sweet, salty. Okay, so for the purpose of, we're doing a creamy, cold, and sweet. Okay, so we are doing, so for the purpose of this, because it's a group setting, I'm going to go with, I'm going to say creamy and sweet. Oh, Therese, so you're right on the money there. So if yours is creamy and crunchy or whatever else, just substitute what the word that I'm saying, okay? Layers of, yeah. So just want you to make this specific to yours. So I'm going to say the words creamy and sweet. Big breath, tapping on the karate chop point, even though I'm still craving this creamy and sweet treat, but you can actually name the treat. I truly love, forgive, and accept myself anyway. Twice more like that, even though I'm still craving the creaminess and the sweetness of this food. I truly love, forgive, and accept myself anyway. Good job. Last one. Even though I'm still craving the creaminess and the sweetness of this food, I truly love, forgive, and accept myself anyway. And it is now safe for me to release this craving. Good job. Now tapping through the points. If you're somewhere that is not private, just Maybe say, I see some mouths not moving there. Just say the words kind of under your breath, but still say them out loud. It really helps. This yummy, yummy creaminess. Oh, how I love the creaminess of this food. I will never be able to give up this creaminess. I know I can just taste this creaminess and all of my problems will disappear. I do not know who I would be if I didn't have this creaminess. I don't know how I would calm myself down if I didn't have the creaminess of this food. This creaminess is the only way I know how to be happy. This creaminess of this food is the only way I know how to treat myself. Take a deep breath, keep tapping. And then there's the sweetness. That yummy, yummy sweetness. I can never have too much of this yummy, yummy sweetness of this food. It reminds me of sweeter times in my life. It's the only way I know how to be happy. It's the only way I know how to get through tough times. How will I calm myself down if I don't have the sweetness? I'll never be able to give up this sweetness. Take a deep breath, keep tapping. I really don't want to give up this craving. You can't make me. I need this food. I need this food as a treat. I need it to reward myself. I feel protective of my relationship with this food. This food has always been there for me whenever I needed it. I'll never be able to give it up. Take a deep breath. But I know using food and this specific food isn't healthy for me. I eat way too much of it. Even though it fills me with positive emotions, what if I can be filled with positive emotions by some other means? This food does not give me love. It's just food. It just lies there. It doesn't really protect me. It cannot possibly love me back. What if I can find new ways to be happy? What if I can find new ways to treat myself? I choose to feel calm and at ease now. It is safe for me to release this craving. Great, take a deep breath. Stop tapping, good work. Good. Go ahead and re-rate your desire for this food now. Sometimes it takes a few rounds of this. So that would be, like doing the ball of light plus the aspects, that would be once. So sometimes it takes a couple or three, but just stay with it, and then maybe in the moment down to a 2. I mean, great. So maybe in the moment, you are, yeah, good question. Maybe in the moment you don't need it that much. You know, you're able to stop halfway or stop when you would usually have to finish the whole thing. So we do the aspects. So the aspects is like the things that we like about the food that are not emotional. Okay, so the emotions, that's what's stuck in the food. The emotions, so then we take them out, we place them in our heart, feel them, and give those emotions to the other person. But the aspects is more crunchy, salty, sweetness. It's like the things that like the yummy things that we like. And so for that one, we do the tapping script. But I've also seen Brittany, one time I've seen her scoop out like the crunchiness. So you can do that also. I like a combination of the two. I think it's great. So it hits it from different aspects. Because so maybe it's like, okay, you might not even have anything that you particularly like about it, but it makes me feel good. It just makes me feel calm. It just makes me feel like I've nourished myself. And it's like, okay, well then if that's the case, then continue doing the ball of light, you know, because you're gonna scoop out that nourishment feeling. Yeah, great question there. Wonderful. Does anyone have any other questions? Okay, let's do another round. If you're down, if you're like at a 1 or a 0 or even a 2, like you can choose another food now. But if you're still, maybe if you're above a 2, we can continue with the same food. Maybe you could swap the person. If you like, say if it was like a road trip and you shared a bag of chips with your siblings, and this was the only time, you know, even because life was chaotic or unsafe in other times, but maybe a road trip was when mum and dad were both happy or something like that. So if that's the case, maybe you share it with your sibling this time instead of a parent. Okay. Or you can just choose another food. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. So we start out with, you know, once you've identified the food, go ahead and rate it. 0 is that you don't really want it, 10 the most ever. Even try and have like a little smell of it to increase the trigger, the desire. And now you want to identify the feelings that are associated with it. If you can't remember having this as a child, or even can't remember when you first had it, just think about the feelings that you get when you eat it now. Okay, so maybe it's like, oh, I just feel relieved. I just feel like I have, you know, it's the end of the day and I get to have this thing and it's like a relief. I finished my jobs or things that I didn't want to do. So just bring those in, have a few of those feelings. And lastly, I want you to identify one person or an animal that you would like to share this with. Yeah, so if it was a certain flavor ice cream, yeah, you can do it. That if you craved your like the certain flavor of ice cream, you can do a different flavor of ice cream, but also like rate your intensity for it. So sometimes when we, you know, like if it's something that's the same food, it might go down, but it might also be like a different craving if it's a different flavor. Okay, so you might need to collapse that also. So we've got our desire, the feelings, and the person that we're going to share this with. So go ahead and imagine that you have the food in front of you and the feelings that you just described, they're inside the food. Take both hands, physically scoop up those feelings and place them into the center of your chest. Go for it, Gladys. All of these calls are recorded too. So yeah, you can grab the recording. So we're scooping those feelings out, placing them into the center of your chest, and feel those feelings as you are scooping them out. So feeling those good feelings. Once you have those feelings into the center of your chest, start tapping through the points, really feeling those good feelings. And now you're going to go ahead and start imagining that you are tasting the food. Texture of the food, even see if you can smell the food. And now I want you to imagine that the feelings form a big, beautiful white light in your heart. And you're going to go ahead and pass that ball of light with your good feelings from your heart to your person's heart. And they get to experience these great feelings too. So you get to witness them feeling these feelings. Continue tasting the food, smelling the food, feeling the texture, the warmth or coolness. And now go ahead and receive that ball of light from their heart back into yours and get another wave of those good feelings. In your own time, go ahead and pass that ball of light from your heart to theirs and back and forth. Close your eyes and really see that, feel it. There's a lot going on, so if you can close your eyes, that might make it easier to feel what's going on and see this ball going back and forth. Tasting the food. A couple more here. Good. Go ahead and give that person a hug. You can imagine that you can keep some of that ball of light in your heart. They can keep some in theirs. Another big breath here. And just slowly come back. Good work. And so re-rate your desire for this food. Good. If you don't know who the person was, great work, Michelle, 0. You can just choose anyone. It doesn't necessarily have to be a person that you shared that with. And also, if you don't have a great relationship with that person now and you'd rather not share it with them, you can just choose anyone. Yeah. Good. Great. And lastly, we're going to do the aspects. So, which is the parts of the food that you like that isn't the that is not the emotion. So this is what you taste. The taste, if it's crunchy, sweet, salty. Everyone wants to place into the chat what theirs was, so I know I've got a good oily, salty, creamy, sweet, salty. Okay, let's do salty and sweet. So the same thing, if that wasn't your thing, just you replace whatever I'm saying with the aspect that is true for you. Okay, tapping on the karate chop point, take a deep breath here. Good. Even though I'm still craving the saltiness and the sweetness of this food, I truly love, forgive, and accept myself anyway. Good. Big breath. Even though I'm still craving the saltiness and the sweetness of this food, I truly love, forgive, and accept myself anyway. Last one. Even though I'm still craving the saltiness and the sweetness of this food, I choose to love, forgive, and accept myself anyway. And it is now safe for me to release this craving. Great. Take a deep breath. I just love the saltiness of this food. The yummy, yummy saltiness of this food. Tapping through the points. I will never be able to give up this yummy, yummy saltiness. This saltiness takes all of my problems away. It just feels so good to taste this saltiness. The saltiness of this food is the only way I know how to be happy. The saltiness of this food is how I treat myself. Nobody will take the saltiness of this food away from me. No way. And then there's the sweetness of this food. The yummy, yummy sweetness of this food. I just can't get enough of this sweetness. I need it. I'll never be able to say no. I need this sweetness to be able to remember the sweet times I had. So don't take this sweetness away from me. I've decided to keep this craving because I won't let go of this sweetness. This food has always been there for me. I need this food to relax. This craving is the only way I know how to be happy. I don't know what I would do with myself if I didn't have this craving. I need this food. Take a deep breath, keep tapping. But in reality, it's just food. It was probably made in a factory by somebody wearing a hairnet. And then it was shipped in a big truck where it was probably in the store for weeks, if not months. And then it sat on the shelf before I bought it. So therefore, this food does not love me back. This food does not have feelings. It just lies there. What if I can find new ways to connect with myself? What if I can find new ways to be happy? It is safe for me to release this craving and take my power back. This food no longer has control over me. I'm proud of myself for making this change. Good job, everyone. Shake it out. And lastly, re-rate your desire for this food. Good. Great, Julie, 0. 0, Michelle, 0, Corey. Yes, great work, everyone. Well done. And you can even share your wins in the group. So the next circle is with Teen, which is Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Don't miss it. It's a great one. Teen's really experienced. She's a great coach. And she will have lots more answers. Also, she can talk to you about like, if you're not able to find that, the Echo, the younger version, she has some really great tips. Yes, Corey, that's a great question. You can use this for things that aren't food, like social media, okay? Anything that gives you that dopamine rush, shopping, online shopping, texting an ex, anything, okay? So you're just scooping out what that feels like. Oh, it's exciting. You know, it's familiar, right? And you're scooping out that feeling because all these things we just numb, right? And your wine or smoking or anything that you use to distract yourself, you can use. So that would be like kind of both. Sometimes it's like, okay, I'm using the social media to numb out. I've just got too many thoughts. I'm stressed out. I'm just going to numb out, but you want to do it with both, okay? So same thing like what you do with food. It's in both categories. It's attached to a positive memory that's you know, exciting. So you'd scoop out those feelings and you would do the ball of light, but then you'd also push it away because it's there. It's numbing. It's you know, distracting you from feeling what you need to feel. So that's a great one, Corey. But well done, everyone. Yes, exactly. Okay, so party food, if you've got the course, go ahead and listen to that, the recording. That would be cravings in group situations. So it's the same technique, but we are just passing that ball of light from person to person. Okay, so if you imagine that I'm going out with my friends for dinner, or I've got like a family event, that you usually load up the plate and scoff everything. So you just pass those good feelings, that connection, it's excitement, I'm part of something. You can just pass those feelings back from person to person. Yeah. Great work, everyone. I do have to go now. I have another appointment that I remembered. Yeah, that was in my calendar. Thank you so much for your grace and being patient with me. And thank you for Brooke reaching out. Yeah. Bye. Wonderful to see everyone. Bye-bye.